Let's move on to tiny little fix number 6. And this one is gold. Tiny fix. Be an 8-minute friend. Okay? An 8-minute friend. I'm going to explain what an 8-minute friend is. But let's start with the little lie that you tell yourself, even if you don't want to say it out loud. Someday I'll have more time. I'll call my friend when I have more time. It takes a lot of time to catch up with somebody. In order to connect with a friend, I got to have an hour. I got to see them in person. I got to make plans. I got to go out to dinner. I got to do something. No. Researchers call this a time surplus fantasy. It's this notion that, okay, life is going to magically slow down. The calendar is going to clear up. I'm going to finally be able to catch up with that friend that I miss. Problem? That time doesn't exist and it never comes. And both you and your friends are doing it. Dr. Robert Waldinger, Harvard psychiatrist, director of the longest running study on happiness in history. This is that study at Harvard that's gone 83 years. He is the 4th director of this study. He's also one of your most favorite guests that has appeared on this podcast. He has a book out called The Good Life. And in his book, he says, quote, most busy people tend to think that in some unspecified future, like when I'm retired, we'll have a time surplus where we'll be able to connect with old friends. Here's the truth. The time surplus is not coming. You don't magically get more time. The connection that's going to happen out in the future isn't happening unless you schedule it now. And it doesn't take as much time as you think. That brings me to the tiny fix. I want you to think about creating friendship on purpose and staying connected on purpose by being, quote, an 8-minute friend. Okay, what does that mean? Well, first of all, this idea comes from an article that was written by a reporter named Jancy Dunn. This was a massive article in the New York Times a couple years ago that was all about the power of making an 8-minute phone call to a friend. And now you'll see it all over social media, people talking about the 8-minute call, but it comes from this article in the New York Times. And once I read it, it just was a tiniest of a fix in a busy world that changed the way I think about staying connected to friends. Because like you, I was making this mistake of thinking, I got to have an hour. I got to make plans in the future. We got to find time to go out to dinner. No, you don't. All you need to quickly check in on somebody is 8 minutes. In 8 minutes, you can hear somebody's voice. You can ask how they're doing. You can tell them you were thinking about them. And the other cool thing about adopting this tiny little fix of being an 8-minute friend is that when you connect with somebody and you're like, hey, I got 8 minutes. I thought of you. I'm on my way to an appointment. I just wanted to catch up real quick. And I'll tell you, 50% of the time after making an 8-minute call, I have a follow-up date in a calendar to see a person in real life. That's why this matters, because we're all thinking about the people that we care about, and we're all lying to ourselves saying that in the future, we're going to have some unbelievable amount of time. Suddenly, we're going to have hours of time to catch up with friends. Suddenly, our calendars are going to be clear. Suddenly, your schedule and their schedule is going to perfectly align, and you're going to find time to get together consistently. It's not happening. It's not happening unless you make it happen. And so a tiny fix that changed my life is thinking about, do I have 8 minutes? If I have 8 minutes in between things, I have 8 minutes to connect with a friend. And so whenever I'm driving, this is my favorite hack. When I'm out running errands, I'm an 8-minute friend. I make phone calls to my friends, hand-free, of course, and I just catch up and I say, hey, I was on my way somewhere. I had just a few minutes.